Okay. So we completed 29 sessions. It is going to be 30th session. Fine. Now, the other point, initially we discussed the batch duration could be 2 months, but it may turn into 3 to 4 months. The reason just curriculum is same, but we are going deeper and deeper in different aspects. The style we changed for this batch, since I targeted this batch content for 100% job guarantee program candidates, but still compared to 100% job guarantee, here we can learn 25%. Okay, just I'm giving heads up. It could go beyond like 3 months. So let's see. Like definitely this batch would be better than any other batch which we conducted in the past. Since this content we are going to use for 100% job guarantee program, let me give one heads up to the guys who are in this room, in this meeting, and who are part of 100% job guarantee program. Of course, we already communicated. Again, I want to give heads up. 10 a.m. we have status call review meeting. 2 p.m. we have rapid round. Okay, please make sure you will participate. Very important. So this will go 2 hours. Rapid round more than 2 hours. 2 hour more than 2 hours. So that is a plan for today. So make sure you will be available in this status call review and review meetings. So let's proceed. So we discussed a few concepts within the payables application, what we are going to learn. Those we discussed theoretically. It's very important. You should understand theoretically. You should be able to speak. Then doing in the system important, but not that much important. One time you can do, that is more than enough. You don't need to keep practicing an instance to become expert on the system. Not required. You should get introduced how these things can be handled in the system, but your primary focus should be you have to understand that these different scenarios in which business case, what we have to record in the system, what concept Oracle is providing, we have to go through these points. So we discussed about standard invoice, debit memo, credit memo, prepayment, invoice creation through spreadsheet, recurring invoice, single payment, batch payments, or you can call as automatic or payment process request, bills payables, interest invoice concept, third party payments, cross currency, foreign currency invoice, and foreign currency payment. What else we have to understand from payable side? Say for example, you have 20 suppliers. You have 20 suppliers. When you have a 20 suppliers, I want to process the payment only for 5 suppliers. I have 20 suppliers, but I want to process the payment for 5 suppliers. So what we can do is we can group these suppliers. Let me take better example. Say we have supplier 1, supplier 2, supplier 3, have total 10 suppliers. Total 10 suppliers. My requirement is I want to process the payment for few suppliers automatically. I want to make payment process automation by using payment process request. We'll see the colors of payment process request. Now take the point by using the payment process request or by using the batch payments, or you can say by using automatic payments functionality, we can automate the payment process. Now I have a 10 suppliers. What I want to do is I want to automate the payment for few suppliers. Say for example, for these 4 suppliers, I want to automate the payment. If you want to automate the payment, what you have to do is you have to do some tagging. You have to label these suppliers. How? Say the supplier 1 is foreign supplier. Supplier 5 also foreign supplier. Supplier 10 also foreign supplier. Supplier 7 is government supplier. Here also government. And this supplier is say raw material supplier. Raw material. They supply raw material to us. So this is how you can classify. This is how you can group the suppliers. Out of 10 supplier, we are grouping. Few suppliers are foreign suppliers, few suppliers are government suppliers, few suppliers are raw material suppliers. They provide raw material to us. So out of 10, there is separate grouping. Now, my requirement is I want to process the payment to foreign suppliers. When I am going to process the payment by using payment process request, if I want to select, I can select only one supplier. If not one supplier, all suppliers. One or all. We don't have any choice to choose 2 suppliers, 3 suppliers. That is not possible. But now my requirement is I want to process the payment to 3 suppliers who are foreign suppliers. Now this is how I can do the tagging with these 3 suppliers as a foreign suppliers. So whenever I process the payment through payment process request, what I will do is in the payment process request, I select foreign. When I select foreign, what system will do is this foreign label is associated with how many suppliers. It will select only those supplier related invoices. That means we are grouping the suppliers. Okay, we are grouping the suppliers for what purpose? Payment purpose. To process the payment, we are grouping the suppliers. Here again, I am grouping the suppliers as a government suppliers. This is another group. Okay, we are grouping the suppliers. So we are grouping the suppliers for what purpose? Payment purpose. Since we are grouping the suppliers for payment purpose, to group these suppliers for payment purpose, we use the concept called as pay group. By using pay group, what we can do? Group suppliers for payment purpose. That's all. This is what we have to understand. Now we have many suppliers. We are grouping these 3 suppliers with the label called as foreign. That labeling only you can call as a grouping. Pay group you call it. Pay group. So foreign is one pay group. Government is another pay group. Raw material is another group. So this is how you can group the suppliers by using the pay group to process the payments. What is the use of pay group? With the help of pay group, we can group the suppliers for payment purpose. So this is the point we have to understand when we talk about pay group. Now, let's look into a few other items. Okay. So just make a note. If you have any question here, just make a note. We will discuss. We'll discuss. Just make a note of a few concepts. We'll get into the Q&A instead of for each and every concept. We stop and discuss. Just few concepts I'll explain. Make a note. So we'll focus. Now, what else we have to understand? Along with these concepts, what are the other concepts we have in the tables? I'm removing this data. Now, take example. So I have one supplier called as ERP Tree Corp. There is one supplier in the system with the name called as ERP Corp. And ERP Corp, with this name, I recorded 50 invoices. 50 invoices are created. And I noticed there is one more supplier with a similar name in the system. The name is ERP Tree Corporation. With this supplier name, we have 20 invoices. Okay, we have two suppliers in our system. One is ERP Corp, other supplier name is ERP Corporation. So later we identified both are one, but we created as a two separate suppliers. Supplier is same, but in our system we created with the two different names. That means we have to understand there is a duplication. There is a duplication. When you identify suppliers are duplicated, the same name you created, same organization, same supplier you created with the two different naming conventions. When you identify the supplier is duplicated in the system, you have to take the decision. You want to proceed with which name? You want to proceed with what name? You have to choose. Say, for example, we want to proceed with ERP Tree Corporation. By mistake, somebody created ERP Tree Corp and they created invoices also. Once you take the decision, you want to proceed with the name called as ERP Tree Corporation. Now, what we have to do is we need to merge ERP Tree Corp with ERP Tree Corporation. You have to merge it. When you merge, we will merge these 50 invoices also with the same supplier. Now here it will become 70 invoices. This 50 will come here. So this is how we need to merge one supplier with another supplier. When you merge one supplier with another supplier, with the supplier, what are the invoices we have, those also we can merge with this supplier. When you merge this supplier with this supplier will be inactivated. So these invoices will be merged with this supplier name. If you go and open these 50 invoices, you don't see ERP Tree Corp as a supplier name. You will be able to see ERP Tree Corporation as a supplier name for these 50 invoices. So why we are merging one supplier with another supplier? Because of supplier duplication. Because of supplier duplication. Take this as a one case. Another case I am taking. Say we have a supplier called as ERP Tree Corporation. And here, so we are dealing with ERP Tree Corporation supplier. And this supplier has two sites, site 1 and site 2. Okay, the supplier is operating. Okay, the supplier is operating. This company is operating the business in 2 locations. And we are in touch with those 2 locations. Okay, take example, the different location, any locations you can take, we don't need to name it. 2 locations they are operating. We are in touch with that supplier to procure the goods or to render the services from 2 sites. As per our system, ERP Tree Corporation is our supplier. As per our system, we are dealing with the site 1 and site 2. Say with the site 1, we have 25 invoices which we have to pay to the supplier. And from site 2, we have few invoices from the supplier. Those are 10 invoices. Okay. Those are 10 invoices. Those are 10 invoices. We have two sites with this supplier. With the site 1, we have 25 invoices. Site 2, we have 10 invoices. Now, ERP Tree Corporation is informing us. Okay, ERP Tree Corporation is our supplier. ERP Tree Corporation is informing us, saying they are closing the site 2. They are going to close that branch. They are going to close their operations in the site 2, and they are requesting us to send the payment to site 1 only. We have 10 invoices for site 2. 10 invoices we have. Since the supplier is closing this site, whatever the payments we have with this site, these 10 payments also we have to send to this site only. So in that case, what we have to do is we need to merge site 2 with the site 1. When we merge site 2 with the site 1, with the site 2, whatever the invoices we have, those invoices also will be merged. Now, when you merge site 2 with the site 1, the site 2 will be inactivated. Site 2 will be inactivated. These 10 invoices also will be added to this site. So that's how system will update. In this scenario also, whenever you merge this supplier with this supplier will be inactivated. This supplier will not be available to create the invoices. And here also, when we merge one site with another site, this site will be inactivated and this site will not be available to record the invoices when you create the invoices with this supplier. Whenever you create the invoice in the system, you have to select the site also. Site is simply, you can say, address of the supplier. It could be different. When you say 2 sites, this could be 2 different branch related addresses where they're operating the business. So when you perform the merge, if you merge one supplier with another supplier, the first, which supplier we are merging, that supplier will be inactivated. With that supplier, you cannot record any invoices. With this supplier, if you have any invoices, take simple example. I have 50 invoices with this supplier, and now what I want to do is I want to merge this supplier with this supplier, but I don't want to merge invoices with this supplier. If you merge only supplier with this supplier will be inactivated, but this supplier will be available to process the payment for these 50 invoices, since 50 invoices are already created. So when we are merging one supplier with another supplier, you may merge invoices also, or else you may merge only supplier. If you merge only supplier, the invoices will remain with the same supplier. Since you are not merging the invoices, supplier will be merged, supplier will be inactivated. With this supplier you cannot create invoices, but whatever the 50 invoices you have which are already created, those you can pay. That means when you are merging one supplier with other supplier, so you may merge only supplier, along with the supplier you can merge invoice also. 2 cases are possible. We'll see in the system just how to specify. We'll see. The same way here also, when we are merging one site with another site, you may merge only site. Along with the site, you can merge invoices also. If you merge invoices also, so for this 10 invoices also, system will update the site name as 1. You are not merging the invoices. You are merging only site. When you merge site 2 with the site 1, site 2 will be inactivated and these invoices will be available with the site 2 and you will be able to pay. But with the site 2, you cannot create invoices since it is merged. Once supplier or supplier site is merged, that will be inactivated. And whether you want to merge invoices or not, you can take the decision. Here, there is no point of understanding and discussing merging the payments. The payments are already done. We don't need to worry about it. Here, story is merging the invoices. Okay, when you say merging invoices, it's all like unpaid invoices. It's already paid means we don't need to worry about it. So when we are merging one supplier with another supplier, you may merge invoices also, or else directly you can merge only suppliers. When we merge one site with another site, you may merge invoices also, or else only site you can merge. If you merge only site, this site will not be available to record the new invoices, but whatever the 10 invoices we have with this site, those you can process the payment. You will be able to process the payment. So that's how these two are different. Supplier level, you can do the merge. Why? Because of duplication. Site level, you can do the merge. Why? One site is closed. And another cases could be like this. Say we have one supplier called as XINC, our supplier. And we have another supplier called as YINC, Inc. We have two suppliers. These two suppliers, we are buying from these two suppliers. With the supplier XINC, with this supplier, we have 500 invoices, which are unpaid. We have 500 unpaid invoices. With supplier Y, we have 2000 invoices, which are outstanding. Now, two are different companies, but two are our suppliers only. From X and Y, we are buying something. Now, you can understand one point. Company XINC acquired company Y. It is happening outside, not in our organization, right? Our organization is, say, some ABC company. Our company name is ABC INC. You take this example, or ERP tree, anything you can take. Since I took ERP tree corporation here as a supplier, I'm not taking here again, here itself. So our company name is ABC INC. So as per our books, XINC and YINC are our suppliers. Now outside, what is happening is company X is buying company Y. Now they will understand as per their books, ABC INC as their customer, means they find us as per their books as a customer. Now the company YX will inform us saying that we could see you have to pay to Y for 2000 invoices. Now we acquired Y. Whatever you have to pay to Y for those 2000 invoices, you send the payment on company XINC name. That means in our books, we have to merge Y with X. So we have to merge company, our supplier Y with supplier X. When we merge, only you can merge the supplier, or along with the supplier, you can merge the invoices also. You may merge. So if you merge Y with X with Y, you cannot record the invoices. If you merge along with the supplier invoices also, for this 2000 invoices, system will update supplier as X. Now no more Y we have, because Y is acquired by X company acquired. Now any payments related to Y, that should goes to X company. So that's how you can merge one company with another company, means one supplier with another supplier. In our point of view, those are suppliers, right? Since we are buying from them. So why we are acquiring, why we are merging? Because of acquisition. These are the typical use cases why we perform the merge. If in case of duplication, we perform the merge. In case of in between sites also, not only at supplier level, site level also, you can do the merge. And if you have two suppliers where one supplier is acquiring another supplier organization, so if both are our suppliers, then you can merge one company with another company because there is acquisition between those two companies, and those two are our suppliers only as per our system. So this is what we have to understand. This concept we call as simply supplier merge. We'll see in the system how to do it. Supplier merge. Okay, before we proceed, any questions on these two topics, please? Otherwise, the points what we discussed, again, we cannot go back. I may remove these examples. So we discussed two topics. One is pay group. Second one is supplier merge. Any questions on these two topics, please?
In case of two suppliers are having different bank accounts, so along with bank accounts,
Don't worry about bank accounts. Here, there is no story about bank accounts. If they have a different bank accounts, let them have. So when you merge, the supplier will inform you finally which bank account they want to use. That's not an issue. Here, there is no data we have to consider as a bank accounts. Any other questions, please?
Any refund need to be processed for the Y company, then what would be the process for us?
We will refund to X only because no more Y, right? Now Y also X only. That's it. If you whatever you want to, whatever the activities, how whatever the communication you want to establish with Y, you have to establish with X only. Now X is X and Y. That's it. Later there won't be any talk about Y. As of now, we have invoices. That is the reason we refer Y. Later, no invoices we get from Y since they merged. As of now, we have invoices. Those are how you want to handle. That point only we are discussing. And now everything is X only, no Y. Any other questions on pay group or supplier merge? Please make a note these two typical scenarios. Okay. So because of duplication, we do the merge. Because of acquisition, we may do the merge, or else within the supplier also you can do the merge. The merge would be between the sites. Okay. Yeah.
If the invoice has any purchase orders and receipts,
Whatever it may be, whatever it may, even you can merge purchase orders also. That we will see in the system. That is not our primary focus. Purchase orders are purchase orders, not invoices. That is the reason I'm not bringing that data points for discussion. Whatever it may be, they may have. That also will system will update when you merge purchase orders.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll see that. See, my primary point is just I'm not getting into the system. We are standing outside of the system. We are trying to understand what best possible. To get complete level of understanding, definitely we have to see the system, how to deal these within the system, what are the possible options we have. But still you can ask the questions. If it is okay, we can discuss, or else I'll be requesting. We will see when we are in the system. That's it. If any question is not answered because that is not in the scope as of now, please make a note. My big request is maintain a questionnaire. You should have a list of questions and mark it. Answered means answered, otherwise keep it as pending. So whenever we are dealing with that relevant topic within the system, you can again bring it up. Okay, looks no questions. We'll proceed. Any questions, please? Any sort of question, you don't need to think it's a small question, big question. You don't need to classify the questions. Question is question. Any question is powerful. So we want to become a consultant. Without asking the questions, we don't become a consultant. You may not have a habit to ask the questions. Tomorrow, client team will ask you hell number of questions. Okay. They will ask you hell number of questions. Any questions, please? Okay, fine.
Lakshman,
Please.
why we do pay group?
To group the suppliers.
Supplier invoices?
You joined bit late.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. That is the reason you are not aware of it. You can go through the video. We took some example and we discussed. Simply say, since you are asking, say you have 100 suppliers. You want to make the payment only for 10 suppliers. You can group those 10 suppliers for payment purpose by using the pay group. Yeah.
Okay.
Just look into the example, simple example we discussed. Okay, once we go through it will be clear. Still, if you have any questions, you may ask in the next session. Yeah,
Okay.
please. Any other questions? If no questions, we'll pick some other topics and we'll discuss. Okay, no questions. Now, say for example, I have few invoices. Invoice 1, invoice 2. Say I have multiple invoices. Okay, I have multiple invoices. Now, so when you look at these invoices, I can just, we created these many invoices in the system. Now, there is some, these all invoices are related to same supplier. Take example, these all invoices are belongs to A, B, C, I, and C supplier. A, B, C, I, and C supplier. Now, these all invoices arrived due date. These all invoices arrived due date. And this is how just I took only 6 invoices here, or else you can take 100 invoices. I want to automate the payment for this supplier. Whatever the invoice are available with this supplier, for all invoices, I want to make the payment. Now, when I go and select this supplier, system will select all invoices for payment, but I want to stop the payment for specific invoice. Specific invoice, I want to stop the payment. So if you want to stop the invoice for payment, if you want to stop the invoice for specific payment, what you can do is we can place the hold on the invoice. Say invoice 4 has like invoice amount as 1 CR, huge amount. Remaining invoice are like 1 lakh, 2 lakhs, 5 lakhs, 10 lakhs. But invoice 4 is 1 CR. Now for this invoice, you want to make the payment after some time. But when you select this supplier, system will select all the invoices. When system will select all invoices, you can remove the invoice 4, no issues. But I don't want to remove and all. First of all, I don't want to allow the systems to select this invoice. If that is our business requirement, okay, if that is our business requirement, you can place hold on the invoice. Hold. You can place hold on invoice. And you have to write the reason also. Okay, just write reason for invoice. So reason, maybe a review is required. Some additional review is required, or else you may write the reason why you are placing the hold on the invoice, why you are stopping that invoice from the payment. You don't have funds. Funds are not available because huge amount. Funds are not available. Or else you are placing the hold. Why you are placing? There is instruction from the manager. Order from manager. Manager informed us to place the hold on that invoice, not to pay as of now. Maybe they want to talk to supplier. There could be some issue with that invoice. Funds may not be available. There could be some legal issue. So in such kind of scenarios, you can place the hold on specific invoice. You want to place the hold on invoice number 6 also. Place hold it. So when you place the hold on the invoice, that invoice will not be available for payment. Even it got eligibility, since you are placing the hold, the invoice cannot be selected for payment process. Okay, so that means when you want to place hold on any invoice, you have to specify hold reason also. This we call as hold reason. The reason is order from manager, or else reason could be funds are not available. The reason could be reviews required. Okay, as of now you placed. Now you are removing this hold. You are removing this hold. When you are removing this hold, you have to specify the reason why you are removing. So reason could be why you are releasing hold. Reason could be funds are available. That is reason I removed the hold. Now this invoice can be selected for payment. Or else, since I written the reason as why I placed hold, order from manager, now manager approved to process this invoice, or manager agreed, instruction from manager to make the payment. Or else, if you give the reason why you are placing the hold, say I am giving the reason why I am placing the hold is legal issue. And if I am releasing the hold, I can give the reason as legal issue got resolved. So that's how it is. So you can place the hold. When you are placing the hold, you have to provide the reason. Okay, see 2 points. Place hold, release hold. When you are placing the hold, you have to give the reason. What is the reason to place the hold? Legal issue with that supplier. That is the reason that invoice we are holding. Now we are releasing the hold. What is the reason? Legal issue resolved. That's it. So if you place the hold on the invoice, that invoice will not be available for payment. Placing hold on invoice is nothing but stopping that invoice from the payment selection. So this is the point you have to understand. Two data points. Placing hold, releasing hold. When you place, you have to give the reason for placing hold. When you release the hold, you have to give the reason for releasing. So Oracle is providing many reasons why we place the hold, why we release the hold. Apart from that, we can create a number of reasons why we place the hold as per our business, why we release the holds as per our business. Yes, we can create our own release hold reasons and release reasons. So that is a just concept of invoice holds. Okay, invoice holds. We can place the holds on the invoices so that that invoice can be stopped from the payment. When we talk about invoice holds, you have to clearly specify hold and release reasons. Hold reason when you place the hold, release reason when you release the hold. Once you release the hold on the invoice, again that invoice would be available for payment. Again, the invoice will be available for payment. That's it. So this is the point we have to understand when you talk about holds. Okay, let me keep this data temporary purpose. If you have any questions, we'll discuss after 1 or 2 other topics also. Okay. So if you want to stop the payment for any invoice, you can simply place the hold on the invoice, and when you are placing the hold, you have to specify the reason why you are placing the hold on the invoice. We have to specify. Now, another point. Say, we discussed one concept here. Prepayment invoice. I'm taking the same example to discuss some relevant topic. See, please try to understand. Understanding the concepts are important. Not directly jumping into instance and practicing and taking energy is not important. That is required. But very important point is you should be clear about these different business scenarios. That is the reason primarily we are focusing on this first. Once we are clear about it, then we can dive into the system and we will test it. Okay, more than practicing, understanding these concepts are very, very important. Tomorrow you have to speak. Doing is very less. Okay, I'm taking the example of prepayment. It's not copied, that's okay. Prepayment. Say we given prepayment to our supplier, the prepayment amount is 1 lakh. Okay, we given 1 lakh prepayment to our supplier. And we purchased, think this permanent prepayment is temporary prepayment. That means the advance what we given, we can use it. The advance what we given to the supplier, we can use it. Whenever we purchase, we can adjust that amount. We no need to pay again. Already 1 lakh is available with our supplier from our side as advance. Now say we purchase from the supplier and we got invoice. The invoice amount is 50,000. Now we can adjust 50 from this 1 lakh. Still, if you reduce 50 from 1 lakh, still 50,000 would be available with our supplier. So now again you purchase from the same supplier and you received invoice for the same. That invoice amount is 45,000. Again, we no need to pay. Already we have 50 more thousand with our supplier. From this, again, we will reduce 45. Still 5,000 will be with our supplier. Now we took the decision. There is no requirement for us to buy from that supplier, but our 5,000 is available with the supplier. The 5,000 is available with our supplier. Now we can talk to the supplier saying that I am not going to purchase anything from you and please refund that amount. So we are requesting supplier to refund. When we are requesting supplier to refund, we give an advance and we utilized partial advance, not complete advance amount. We utilize some portion of advance what we given to the supplier. Since we are not going to procure anything from the supplier, whatever the amount is left with our supplier as advance, whatever we given, that amount we can request supplier to refund. Since supplier is going to refund our amount back to us, this you can call as simply supplier refund. Who is refunding? Supplier is refunding. So this we call as supplier refund. So when we give advance to supplier, and if you are going to cancel the deal of procuring with the supplier, the advance amount, whatever left with the supplier, if that amount supplier is going to refund, that we call as supplier refund. Very simple. The amount whatever we get from the supplier as a refund, that we record in the system as a supplier refund. Why we get refund? One reason could be we give an advance, that is reason we are getting, or else we made wrong payment to the supplier. By mistake, we process payment twice. It could be any reason. Supplier is refunding our amount, whatever we paid with any reason. The best example you can take as a advance, prepayment. The best example you can take, advance. We give an advance to supplier. That advance supplier is going to refund, that we have to capture in our system as a supplier refund. How to handle in the system we'll see, but just we are trying to understand the concept here. Okay, so when you give advance, if you are not going to utilize the complete advance amount, whatever you given, the rest of amount you may request a supplier to refund since you are not going to continue with that supplier to buy or take the services. You want to stop dealing with that supplier. So this is what we have to understand about supplier refund. Now, any questions from anyone on these two topics, please? We discussed about invoice, hold, reason, release reason. Simply, you can say concept as a invoice holds. And also we spoke about supplier refund. On these two topics, any questions from anyone, please? In system, how we will do, forget about it. We will see when we just start working on it, we'll understand. Now we are trying to understand theoretically. What does it mean? Why it brought into the system, that we are trying to understand theoretically. So based on this, any questions from anyone, please? Seems to no questions. Fine. Let me remove this data. So in payables, okay, in payables, along with these topics, we'll be focusing on. Here, I'm not going to explain much, just I want to give the name, like what we are going to focus. There is a separate concept called as custom roles. Okay, custom roles. So we have seen the roles like application implementation consultant, IT security manager role. Those are the seeded roles. In the same way, for AP application, AR application, for cash management application, and FA application, and GL application, for every application, Oracle is providing the seeded roles. When we talk about seeded roles for GL, yes, we have seen what seeded roles Oracle is providing, right? We assigned roles like general accounting manager, general accountant, CFO, chief financial officer, controller, finance analyst. These are the seeded roles Oracle delivered, and those we assigned to our user. To the same roles we assigned our primary ledger, and we opened the periods with the help of those roles for our primary ledger. We tested by recording the journal. So that means the roles what Oracle is delivering for GL, we have seen in the same way for every application, Oracle is providing the seeded roles. But in the real implementations, the client will say what exactly, say they'll come up with this user need access to only this user need access along with this so privileges. That's how they come up with their requirement. So because of that, whatever the roles Oracle is providing, those doesn't fit as per the business requirements for the users based on their roles and responsibilities in the company, based on their job in the organization, based on the activities what they do in the system. The 100% whatever the roles Oracle is providing, it doesn't match exactly. So for that reason, we need to create the new roles based on the business requirement. Say for example, what Oracle is providing, example I'm taking, just example I'm taking. The role what Oracle is providing that may allows user to create invoice and payment. But business requirement may be they need one role which allows the user to create only invoices. Other requirement could be they need one role which allows the employees to create only payment. So if you have this kind of requirement, if the roles what Oracle is providing, if those are not meeting the expectations, we need to create the roles. We need to create the roles. So for that, we'll have a separate session on custom roles. Okay, we'll have a separate role called as custom roles. In custom roles, we will understand how to create the roles. We'll create the role from the scratch. What are the roles Oracle is providing, we can copy and modify. And we will discuss what are the different type of roles we have. We will understand those. Okay, what are the different type of roles we have? Those we will understand. So when we deal with the custom roles, for now, just make a note. We no need to go deeper and deeper. I'll give you the role types. Role types. Job role. Inside of the job role, you'll have a duty roles. Okay, job role, duty role, abstract role, and data role. Just make a note. We no need to do anything. So when we have a dedicated session on the custom roles, that time we'll speak about more detail level. Okay. So when you talk about job roles are application specific. Job roles are application specific. These are application specific. So whatever the roles we have seen in the GL, those roles we call as job roles. The GL application, we have seen the roles, 5 roles we have seen. Those roles we call as job roles. And abstract roles. The roles, whatever we have seen as application implementation consultant, IT security manager, those roles you can treat as abstract roles. Okay, those roles. So what is the difference between job roles and abstract roles? Job roles are specific to application. Abstract roles are common roles. You can take another example for abstract role is employee also. Irrespective of application, we have to use the employee role. So that's how it is. For now, you take simple example. Job role means application specific. The IT security manager, application implementation consultant, those are not specific to any application. That is the reason those roles we treat as abstract roles. And when we work on these custom roles, again, I'll be adding few other examples. Now, duty roles are part of job roles. Okay, duty roles are part of job roles. In job role, you can have one or multiple duty roles. One or multiple duty roles. So data roles we have seen. When we are trying to assign the roles, GL roles to our user, along with the GL role, there are primary ledger names. The data role means the combination of role plus our primary ledger. This combination only we call as data role. This concept was there in the previous releases. Now completely Oracle stopped. Since the environments what we are using, those are upgraded from older to latest, still those footprints are available in these instances when they created in the past. So data role is nothing but the combination of role. When you say role, job role. Job role and primary ledger, or else job role and our business unit. Any example you can take. Job role and business unit, job role and our primary ledger. This combination only we call as data role. Now this concept Oracle completely stopped. Okay, this concept Oracle completely stopped. But make a note for information purpose. So data roles no more. In past what happens is the moment you create the primary ledger can be assigned to 5 GL roles automatically. That's how it was. But in our previous classes, what we did, we assigned. In past, system assigns. That concept they stopped. That automation they stopped. Reason, even primary ledgers are assigned to GL roles, the data connection is not working properly. Okay, the data link was not working. There were many challenges where clients started reporting to Oracle. Then Oracle took the decision, this approach is not working. Let this process execute through manual process. In that way, they given the task called as data access for users. By using the data access for users, what we did, we selected a user, we selected role. To that user and role combination, we assigned our primary ledger. So that's how we assign. In the past, what happens is, you'll have your role called as general accountant. Whenever you create your primary ledger, say I'm creating primary ledger called as ERP3 primary ledger. Whenever you create, automatically this primary ledger will get assigned to this role. That's how they automated. Now, directly I can assign this combination, this job data role to user. Very simple. Okay, I will assign this data role to user. That's all. What we did is, we selected user, plus we selected role, plus we selected primary ledger. Now, role and primary ledger, now we are getting as a with a concatenation in the past. Now Oracle stopped this concatenation where primary ledger can be mapped with a role that Oracle removed. Now they split it into three parts. User is one part, role is separate, primary ledger is separate. You have to select user, you have to select role, you have to select primary ledger. In past, you have to select user, you have to select this data role. This is a data role. That's how it was. Later Oracle stopped. Even if you assign this data role to user, this user is not able to access to primary ledger. This user is able to access to the role. That's how many challenges was there, say 4 or 5 years ago. So that is the reason Oracle stopped it. But still, you can just be aware of the terminology. What is a data role? Here, what is the meaning of data role? Role means job role. Data means primary ledger. Data means business unit. Data means inventory organization. Data means your corporate book in fixed assets. So those will help us to generate the data. That level only we can record the transactions. That is the reason the primary ledger, business unit, inventory organization, corporate book, these all we call as a data. And role is job role. The job role plus specific data components we are calling as a data role. These are no more. So in finance point of view, completely they just removed. So there is no data role concept. Manually, we have to do the mapping between user role and primary ledger, user role and business unit, user role and corporate book, etc., etc. Okay. So duty roles are part of job roles. If somebody is from EBS background, I'm just giving example. The job role is equal to main menu. Okay, main menu. Duty role is equal to sub menu. That's it. In EBS, we have a menu concept, main menu and sub menu. So job role is equal to main menu, and duty role is equal to sub menu. So in EBS, this main menu you cannot assign to user. Say you have a user. You cannot assign this main menu to user. What you have to do is this you have to take into responsibility. That responsibility you can assign to user. But in the Fusion, there is no responsibility concept. Directly, job roles you can assign to user, which are equal to main. In EBS, if you want to map this main menu to user, directly it is not possible. Through responsibility, you have to create the responsibility by selecting this main menu. Responsibility only you can assign to the user, but here, no responsibility concept in the Fusion. Directly you can assign the job roles to users. You cannot assign duty roles to users. Duty roles are part of job roles. You want to assign the duty role for user. Then for duty role, you have to create one job role. Then only you can assign. Yes, you can assign the abstract role to user. This is all we will see in the system. We'll see the naming conventions. When we are working on these custom roles, we will focus how to compare one role with another role. We have seen the roles general accounting manager, general accountant. What is the difference between general accounting manager and general accountant? Whatever we have seen in case of GL, we will look into that. So we'll compare and we'll understand, we copy and we modify. We'll see how to create the job roles, how to create the duty roles from the scratch. What are the other points we have to understand around it? We'll focus. Just I'm trying to give you high level flavor here, so that would be ready with expectations when we work on the custom roles. Otherwise, it will become altogether new. What we are going to do, I'm just giving some very high level information. The same we are going to execute in the upcoming sessions. Okay. So these are the few points. Hope you are capturing each and every point, each and every word which we are discussing. Very, very important. So if you ignore, that will ignore you. So that's how it is. Just make a note. We have 4 type of roles: job roles, duty roles, abstract roles, data roles. Data roles are no more, but you should understand what does it mean by data roles. And primary roles are job roles. All the time we assign the job roles, but inside of the job roles, you find the duty roles. Abstract roles are very limited roles we call as abstract roles. Since those are not specific to any application, those can be treated as a common roles. Commonly, those roles can be used. That is the reason we call. And if you want to compare the roles concept, fusion roles concept with EBS, so job role is equal to main menu within the EBS. The duty role is equal to submenu. In EBS, the main menu you cannot assign to the user. By selecting main menu, you have to create the responsibility. Responsibility only you can assign to the user. In EBS, when you create the responsibilities, you select the main menu and you select the request group also, which contains reports. Who are not from EBS background, ignore this point. So reports also we include within the responsibility, but in the fusion, within the job role itself, we will have a reports. Reports also are available within the job role itself. Okay. So all the privileges in the duty role, what we can have? Privileges, various actions, what you can perform in the system. The duty role consists of privileges. Privilege means creating invoice, reviewing the invoice, creating the payment. These all we call as privileges. So job role consists of duty roles. Duty role consists of privileges. Privileges are not type of roles. That is the reason I am not writing. Okay. So in duty role, we will have a privileges. And if you take example of EBS, in the submenus, you can have a functions. In EBS submenus, you can have a functions. In Fusion duty roles, you'll have a privileges. Instead of calling as function, in Fusion, we are calling as a privilege. That's it. So these are the few points we have to understand when we talk about the custom roles customization. In every project, we should create custom roles. The roles what Oracle is providing, those are serial roles. So when we are doing the implementation, those roles directly client won't use as it is. Many users need some specific access. For that reason, we need to create the custom roles. For sure, it happens in every project. Okay. So any questions here, please? What we discussed within the scope, you can ask the questions. Once we get into the system, we will see how to deal with that. That time you will have a greater level of understanding. Accordingly, we can discuss if you have any questions. As of now, I addressed very limited data, few points. Based on this, if you have any questions, please. Any questions here, please? Okay. Looks no questions. Fine. So that's all about custom roles. Okay, that's all about custom roles. Now, within the payables application, we are going to deal with approvals also. Okay, approvals. We are going to deal with the approvals. So before you make the payment for invoice, you have to approve the invoice. It depending on organization. Some organizations they says we have to invoice need to be approved if that invoice is created directly in the payables application. If invoice is created based on purchase order, if invoice is created based on the purchase order, approvals are not required. Reason, already purchase order is approved. That is reason invoice approvals are not required. They can say, some company says invoice might be created directly in the AP, or invoice we might create by using the PO information. Ultimately, every invoice should through with approvals. Whatever it may be the case you take. So we have to understand how the approvals works in the system. Okay. So sometimes you may see requirements, only approvals required for invoices which you are creating without PO. And you may see the cases like every invoice need approval irrespective of invoice created based on the PO or not. So here is the requirement. We have to set the approvals. Okay, we have to set the approvals. So when you create invoice should get approved. Okay, it should be approved. If invoice is approved, then only this invoice would be available for payment. Say organization is following the approvals for invoices. If invoice is approved, then only the invoice can be processed for payment. Otherwise, it can be stopped. So invoice is approved, but still you may place the hold on the invoice. This cannot be selected for payment. If invoice is pending for approval, you cannot make the payment. Yes, invoice is approved, but you placed one hold on the invoice. Still, invoice cannot be selected for payment. Try to understand these points. So if you want to implement these approvals, invoice approvals or journal approvals and other approvals, we have separate application called as BPM. We have separate application called as BPM. The BPM stands for Business Process Management. By using the BPM, we create the rules. Okay, within the BPM, what we do? We create the rules. Rules means you may create one rule saying that if invoice amount is more than $100, that should be approved by so-and-so person. If invoice amount is more than $5,000, who can approve it? Or else you may write the rule, every invoice should be approved by supervisor. Every employee, you may align with the supervisor in the company, and you may create the rule saying that every invoice need to be approved by the employee's supervisor. That could be the rule. Or else you may set the rule, every invoice should be approved by so-and-so person. That's it. It may be based on the amount, threshold amount limit. Based on the amount, you may write the approval rule, or based on the employee supervisor relationship, you may write the rule, or you may write the rule directly saying so-and-so person can approve. So this is how you have to define the rules by using the BPM. Within the BPM, you create the approval rules. Based on the rules, the approval notifications will go to the designated people. Means who has to approve, to those person, the approval notifications will go. Okay. So this is the point you have to understand. You can call as approvals, and you can call as DOA, delegation of authority. Approvals, the other naming convention you can use as DOA, delegation of authority. Okay, delegation of authority. So that with that name also you can refer. Simply you can call as approvals. Okay. So whenever you create invoices, the invoices need to be approved in the system. That approval, to create those approval rules, we use the BPM. Within the BPM, we define the approval rules. along with these rules, we have to set up something in the system that we will see when we deal with approvals. Just be aware of this point. So approvals, I'm writing as invoice approvals. Okay. Once invoice is approved, then only the invoice will be available for payment. Where we create the approvals, approval rules within the BPM, business process management. So that's all about invoice approvals. We'll be dealing through BPM. We'll create the approval rules. That's how it is. And these approvals are applicable in the different applications. When we deal with those applications, we'll come across the approvals you can use in the expense application, approvals you can use in the purchasing application, approvals are applicable in GL applications. We created journal. For journal level also, you can set the approvals. Since we created just for introduction, for testing, we didn't set any approvals. When we start working on GL application, yes, we will focus on it. We'll focus on it. And another point. So in the payables, say we have 100 invoices or 1,000 invoices which are unpaid. Okay, which are unpaid. Now my requirement is, so say for example, these 1,000 invoices we have which are unpaid, these 1,000 invoices are related to different time frames. Out of 1,000 invoices, there are few invoices where the due date is May 1st only. Now we are at May 8th. Today date is 8th, May 8th. Take example, out of 1,000 invoices, for few invoices, due date is May 8th. It was 8th, but not yet paid. For a few invoices, due date is May 10th. For a few invoices, due date is May 31st. Few invoices, due date could be today. Now, I want to get a clarity. How many invoices belongs to May 1st due date? How many invoices are belongs to today due date? Or how many invoices are belongs to this month end due date? I want to understand. Or else I want to make it more simple. I want to understand which invoices due date is today. I want to understand coming 1 to 10 days, how many invoices are going to fall in the due, future dues. I want to understand, one second. I want to understand in coming 1 to 10 days, how many invoices are going to be due. These all are unpaid. When is due date, we are segregating. In coming 1 to 10 days, how many invoices we are going to have as a due date, I want to understand. In coming 11 to 30 days, how many invoices are going to fall in the due date, I want to understand. And even I want to understand in last 30 days, minus 30 days to say 0. 0 means it will take today. Okay, or else I'll say 1. I want to understand the past 1 to 30 days. Means from yesterday to up to last 30 days, how many invoices are aligned with that range of due date, I want to understand. If I understand, I can pay based on the priority. So if I find invoices which are falling under due of 1 to 10 days, 30 days past, first I will make the payment for these invoices. Later I will pay which invoices due date is today. Then I can plan about these as required. That means the invoices which are outstanding you are creating separate buckets here. This you can call as one bucket. These are the time periods. These are the time periods. I want to find out invoices which are falling under today as a due date. Upcoming 1 to 10 days, how many invoices we have to pay. In coming 11 to 30 days, how many invoices we have to pay. This is how we can bucket. And we can create the report. If I run the report with this bucket, that report shows out of these 1000 invoices, how many are past due? Maybe 700 invoices are past due. What you have to pay today is only 100 invoices, and 1 to 10 days I mean, in coming 1 to 10 days, you have to pay for 100 invoices, and 11 to 30 days with this time frame, upcoming time frame, 100 invoices you have to pay. That's how this can split. So when you have these kind of buckets, the buckets can split outstanding invoices so that you can look at that information and you can make the payment. If you don't split like this, you may show interest to make the payment for today due date invoices. You may totally ignore these 700 invoices which are already running past due. So if you split all the invoices based on the due dates, past or current or future, you can take action accordingly. You may give high priority to clear the dues for past invoices, past due. You are supposed to pay 30 days ago or 10 days, 5 days. Range is 1 to 30 days past. But not yet paid. You may clear these dues, then you may focus on current. Accordingly, you may think about rest. To facilitate this kind of bucketing system, or to facilitate this kind of periods, this you can call as a time periods. 1 to 30 days past is one time period. Today is another time period. 1 to 10 days is another time period. 11 to 30 days is another time periods. So this sort of buckets, if you want to create in the system, or else if you want to create this sort of time periods, if you want to create the time periods to split or to classify unpaid invoices, we have one concept which we call as aging periods. By using aging periods, what we can do? We can find out unpaid invoices based on periods or buckets, you can say, based on time periods. With aging periods, you can identify or you can classify unpaid invoices based on the time periods. These we are calling as time periods. 1 to 30 days past, 1 to 10 days future, 11 to 30 days future today. These we are calling as time periods. So there is a concept called as aging periods. Now see periods. Yes, these are the periods. What is the age? Invoice age, past or future age. Okay, these are the ages. 1 to 30 days age, which invoice got, which age? Past age, means outstanding, past due. So this is a future related. In coming 1 to 10 days means it talks about future age of invoice, upcoming due dates. So aging means that it refers the time-based periods. Those can be past or current or future. So we have a concept called as aging periods. By using aging period, you can find out unpaid invoices based on the time periods so that you can take the quick action based on the priority. So for that reason, we have a separate concept called as aging periods within the payables application. Any questions here, please? Any questions? Okay. No questions. Now, as a part of implementation, if you take example of AP, If you take example of AP, so as a part of implementation, we have to perform the data conversion. We have to perform the data conversion. This you can call as data migration also. When you say data migration, short name is DM. DM means data migration. So when you are implementing AP application, we have to perform data conversion. We have to perform the data conversion, or you can call as data migration. What does it mean by data migration? Migration means movement. What movement? Data movement. Say client is using SAP and they are moving to Oracle Fusion. Yes, this is happening in the market. I have seen multiple clients. In past, when it was EBS, many clients moved from EBS to SAP. So these days you could see clients are moving from SAP to Oracle Fusion. Say client wants to move from SAP to Oracle Fusion. Now, if you take example of AP, as per SAP AP, say they have their suppliers information, they have their invoices information. Invoices means unpaid invoices. Here you have to understand unpaid invoices. So in SAP, we have suppliers and unpaid invoices. This suppliers and invoices information we have to move to Oracle Fusion. So moving the data from SAP to Oracle Fusion, that only we call as data migration, or you can call as data conversion. So when you move the data from SAP to Oracle Fusion, SAP we treat as legacy system. Means before coming to Oracle Fusion, what are the systems the client is using? Those systems we treat as legacy. Legacy means old systems, previous systems. So SAP we call as legacy systems. Now, the process of moving the data from legacy system to Fusion applications we call as data migration. Okay, data migration. If you look at EBS 11i, EBS R12. It can be EBS 11i or R12. 11i outdated and EBS still it is running in the market. If client is using EBS 11i or R12, this data migration or conversion should be handled by technical consultant. As a functional consultant, as a finance functional consultant, we cannot handle. There is a big story behind it to handle it. So they have to create the staging, they have to create a lot of scripting, they have to dump the data into that staging, they have to write the validations, many exercises they have to do. Then only finally they can bring into Oracle EBS 11i or R12. But in the Fusion, this data conversion or migration can be handled by functional consultant. Oracle made it very, very simple. In EBS, data conversion technical consultants are required. In Fusion, for data conversion, technical consultants are not required. Here is the catch. In EBS, technical consultant is very much mandatory in every project. Even there are no customizations, no integrations in EBS, at least to perform the data conversion, technical consultants are required. But in the Fusion, technical consultants we don't need for data migrations or data conversions. This can be handled by functional consultants. The technical consultant role is limited to integrations or some sort of customizations or creating custom reports, etc., etc. So in EBS, data conversion is a very, very big task where we need technical resource. So in Fusion, because of this reason, there is no much demand because there is no big task for technical people called as data migration. In EBS, in every project, we need technical consultants for data migration. In Fusion, in no project, we need technical consultants. So that is the reason, since in Fusion, there is no huge demand for technical consultants. Because of this reason, and many clients are going with the SaaS, not pass, etc. So there is less demand in the market. Most of the technical consultants are migrating to functional side. In EBS, whom you see as a technical consultants in Fusion, you can see they are started working as functional consultants. I can say based on my experience in many previous batches, there were many technical consultants who learned Fusion Financials and they started working as a functional consultants. Many DBAs also. In EBS, yes, we need DBAs to manage the instance, but in the Fusion, instances are managed by Oracle DBA team. We don't need dedicated DBAs here from client side. That is the reason many DBAs also started learning functional and they migrated to functional. So this is the story we have to understand, but in case of Fusion, these data migrations are pretty simple. So in case of EBS 11 and R12, these need to be executed by technical consultant. In Fusion, can be handled by functional consultant, should be handled, not can be, should be handled by functional consultant. We have to expect the task. Okay, we will get the task. We have to migrate. Now, if you are going to migrate, how you are going to migrate? So Oracle is providing FPDA templates. Oracle is providing. Say you want to move suppliers data from SAP to Oracle, from SAP AP to Oracle Fusion AP. You want to move, or any other application. Just simply you can say you want to move all the suppliers. Client has been using SAP. Now they want to move to Fusion. In the SAP system, they have a suppliers, the same suppliers information. Now we have to bring into Oracle Fusion. To bring the data from SAP to Fusion, Oracle is providing FPDA templates. FPDA stands for, okay, FPDA stands for file-based data import. Hope you are capturing everything. You should write it. File-based data import. Okay, file-based data import. So these FPDA templates are spreadsheet templates. Okay, these are spreadsheets. Okay, these are spreadsheets. These are spreadsheets. What we will do is, as a finance functional consultant, we will give this FPDA templates to the client IT team. Since they are using SAP, so every client will have their internal IT team. We will give these templates to client team, client IT team. Okay, client IT team. We'll give these templates to client IT team. What the client IT team they will do is, they extract suppliers data and they populate in FPDA template. That's it. Okay, FPDA. This you can call as template, FPDA template. So Oracle is providing FPDA templates, which are spreadsheet based templates. So in the template, clearly you can see what details we need to create the suppliers in the Fusion applications. So these templates we have to share with the client. When you say client, exactly to whom we have to share? Client IT team, client IT technical team. So they extract the data from SAP database as required and they populate the data in our FPDA templates. Now these templates we receive from client. Whatever the data we have in the FPDA template, the data we load into Oracle Fusion. The same applicable for invoices. So generally we don't bring paid invoices from SAP to Oracle Fusion or any legacy system to Fusion. Paid invoice already paid, we leave there only. We bring only unpaid invoices. Unpaid invoices we call as open invoices. So unpaid invoices we call as open invoices. Unpaid invoices we call as open invoices. So the open invoices we have to move from legacy. I'm taking as SAP, you may take as a PeopleSoft, you may take as a Microsoft Dynamics or some XYZ application, doesn't matter. Process remains same. So open invoices. The open invoices we have to move from legacy system to Oracle Fusion. For that also same process. There will be separate FBDA template for open invoices. That template we will give to client IT team. All the open invoices, unpaid invoices, what they have in the SAP related to AP, those all they extract and they'll put that data in the open invoices FBDA template, and we get those details and we load that information to Fusion application. There is certain process which need to be followed. When we execute that in the system, we will talk and we will do. Now just I'm trying to give you little heads up about this process, how it works. Very high level. Okay, so moving the data from legacy to Oracle Fusion applications, we are calling as data migration. Why we are calling as a conversion? Why the term is used as a conversion? Migration is cool, right? Simple. Why the conversion? What we are converting? It's a very important point. So as per SAP, okay, as per SAP, the data format could be different compared to Oracle data format for supplier. Okay, the database format is SAP database format is totally different from Oracle database format. So the data when you are bringing from SAP to Oracle, the suppliers data and the open invoices data need to be aligned, need to be converted as required as per Oracle Fusion applications. That is the reason we are calling as a conversion. We are converting SAP data into Oracle Fusion as per Oracle database based on data which is available in SAP database. Okay, we are converting the data from SAP data format to Oracle data format. Okay, so we are restructuring the data. The data is available in SAP suppliers and open invoices data as per SAP database structure or tables, etc. But now we are going to move the data into Oracle Fusion. Now data need to be structured. Now data need to be formatted. Data need to be converted as required by Oracle database. So that is the reason we are using the term called as conversion. We are converting. We are converting the format. Or simply you can say data migration. So this is what we have to understand when we talk about FBDA templates. Okay, we have one FBDA template for suppliers, FBDA for suppliers, another FBDA we have for open invoices, or simply you can say payables open invoices. So as a part of payables, when we are part of real implementation, it's our responsibility. As a finance functional consultant, we have to take care of data conversions. In payables, which data conversions? Suppliers data conversions and open invoice data conversions. Suppliers data conversions we call as master data. Okay, supplier data we call as master data. Suppliers data we call as master data. And the invoices and all we call as transactional data. Please make a note. This is the data classification. When you do the data migration or data conversion, The data is classified into two types: master data, transactional data. Transactional data means the transactions what we record. Master data means the data which you can reuse. You create supplier, that supplier can be used again and again whenever you create invoice with the same supplier. Means supplier records are master records, can be reusable. If you create invoice one time, that is one time. Again, same invoice you cannot create one more time, same invoice you cannot use one more time. So the data which is reusable means supplier you use every time whenever you create invoice with the same supplier. The record we call as, the data we call as master data. Suppliers data we call as master data. So open invoices data we call as transactional data. Yes, payment data also we call as a transactional data, but we cannot load the payments data into Fusion applications from any legacy system. That provision Oracle is not providing, only unpaid invoices. So what data we migrated in payables? If that is a question, you can say we migrated master and transactional data, you can say, or else you can say suppliers data and payables open invoices data we migrated from legacy system to Fusion applications. Now, how you migrated? By using FPDA templates. How you got the data? We shared the templates with a client IT team. They extracted suppliers and invoices data from their current system to FPDA templates. That data we loaded into Fusion. Before loading anything we have to do, while loading any activities, any steps need to be followed, that we will understand when we do in the system as a part of our dedicated session on data conversions. As of now, this is just very high level understanding which we should aware. So that you can have the expectations of what we are going to do as a part of data conversion. Okay, we will see where we can find all those FPDA templates and how to download those templates, how to prepare the data in the templates, how to convert the files, how to load the data. We will exercise the reality, how it works. We are trying to understand. So we share the templates to client will provide the data into templates. See, client can enter the data into templates also, FPDA template, but it's a big task. Always they extract from their current system and they'll populate the data in the template. As per our FPDA template format, they will provide the data and that data will load. And what exactly steps need to be followed when we deal with this data migration concept as a part of payables, we will focus more detail level. Any questions here, please? Any questions? Okay, please build a muscle with these concepts. Okay, don't love practicing on the instance. Tomorrow when you are working, if you are in the project for 1 month, one day you may touch instance, may not touch. Even if you touch, you may not do great setups in the system. So I can say instance, dealing with instance, not even 10% in your routine works. Very less, very less. So just focus on where you should focus. Just go through this, have a give presentation, discussions, meeting, rapid rounds, many things are lined up. Focus on those, okay? Spend more time for reading. You should be able to deliver properly. Now, if I ask the question, hey, could you please talk about FPDA? Okay, could you please talk about data conversions in Oracle Fusion? You should be able to talk about the data what we discussed. You have to explain like this. So in Oracle Fusion, if you want to perform the data conversions, Oracle is providing FPDA templates. If you take example of payables, to migrate suppliers data from legacy to Fusion, we have a separate template. And to migrate open invoices data from legacy to Fusion, we have separate template Oracle is providing. What we do is the template, since Oracle is providing the same templates, we'll share with the client team. The client IT team extract the data from the legacy and they populate the data into the FPDA templates. The data we get from the client team that we load into the system, When we do this activity, we follow this process. What process? That we will learn later. This is how you should be able to speak. If you are capable enough to do in the system, nobody knows. Okay, nobody will ask you. What you speak is matter, what you do maybe matter, but not that much big matter when you are working as a functional consultant. Take simple example. When you attend interview, nobody is going to ask you the question, show me how to do this. They are not going to give you the system as a practical kind of thing. They ask question, you have to answer, you have to speak. So you have to focus on the content, the concepts, the scenarios, what we are discussing, the data points, what we are focusing. Get ready with the data so that you'll become powerful and you can crack or you can break. So that's how it is. So any questions on this point, data conversions within the scope, whatever discussed, once we see in the system, you'll get the complete picture of understanding. As of now, I'm giving skeleton picture, not full picture, skeleton, incomplete picture. Any questions here, please? Any questions? No questions. Fine. Okay. Mostly tomorrow session also will be discussing like this. There are a few concepts. Once we are done with those concepts, we'll talk about what setups we have to do in the system and what is the purpose of each and every setup. Once we are good with those, then we will dive into the instance. Don't be hurry. Don't be hungry for instance related sessions. So yes, when we work on instance, we feel very comfortable, we'll get a lot of energy, but reality, that is not a positive energy for us when we are learning. You have to take this information as a positive energy. This will help you. This will set the standard for you, not after all poor system practice. Yes, definitely we have to see the system at least one time. You have to practice. If you ask me, I would say practice one time, not more than that. So everything would be in your notebook. Read multiple times and become powerful. Okay, don't go. We should not go mad by practicing. It won't give you value addition for your learning. One time you practice, you exercise all this. You have enough time in your hand. You may practice second time, but I don't recommend. So this is just how you require. When you are learning, you don't know many things how you should learn, but I'm telling, please follow this. That will help you. You can save your time. You can be in the right track. Yes, I'm telling, one time by practicing, you don't feel great. You are not comfortable with the system. Still okay, it works. Read. That's it. And give presentation, discussions, various activities we have on the floor. Focus on those. So that's how it is. It should not be like system practice should not be core subject. You'll fail in other subjects. Yep. So that's how it is. Any questions on today's session, please? We are done for today. So if you have any priorities, you may drop. We are done for today. Any questions on today's session, please? Write each and every point what we are discussing. Okay. So please make a note. If you that's okay. Let it be. Any other questions, please? No questions.
No question for now.
Yeah. Any other questions from anyone? If you ask questions, you'll become powerful in terms of learning. That's it. Because we want to become a consultant. Who is consultant? Who asks many questions, that person will become consultant or called as a consultant. Because tomorrow you have to answer to many questions. Fine. Not only when you are attending the classes, when you are reading your note, when you are practicing on the system, trigger the questions. Trigger the questions. Try to find the answer. If you don't find, ask me. We can discuss in the class. But you have to do this learning by questioning everything. Okay. Don't accept simply whatever you see, whatever you listen. You just apply validation from your side. Think through. If it is making sense, then good. When you validate, you may get some questions. Try to find out the answers based on your analysis. If you are not able to connect the dots, you can ask me the same questions in our sessions. Yep. But asking questions is very, very important, will make you powerful since you want to become a functional consultant. Fine. Any other questions?
I have a question on procurement.
Your voice is very low. See, always you please set environment ready. I mean to say that your system. If you are asking the questions, make sure the volume and all okay. Otherwise, I have to tell every time. I have to teach this also, saying that your volume is low, breaking, etc. etc. is a breaking. They knows their bandwidth, internet connection, etc. Please fix it. So set up this learning system ready, the channel ready. That will help us. Yep. Please, let's try once again. No? Okay. You may ask tomorrow. If no questions, we can wind up for today. We'll connect tomorrow, same time. Yep. Somebody unmuted.
Yes, we have like inspection PO receipt matching invoice, but here you said like will be only receipt and PO.
It is payables, not inventory. Okay.
Inspection. Okay.
Inspection will happen in inventory, not in the payables. Yeah. When we work on P2P cycle, we will see in the inventory side.
Like four-way matching we have.
I don't know four-way matching because I never discussed with anybody. That is the reason I don't know. When you are working on P2P, you will have a two-way matching, three-way matching, four-way matching, all you will see. That time we'll talk. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. See, I think you are asking this sort of questions right from beginning. It's a request, nothing else. It's a request. So whatever related to future, let's see those in the future only. Yeah. Of course, you asked one question, inspection, that is valid. Okay. The matchings and all also will come in the P2P cycle. So now just you can think about only these. You can think about these. If you are getting some thoughts about something else and all, make a note. So when you are dealing with the relevant topics, definitely will come across. What you are asking, those are related to P2P. Of course, you don't know those will come in the P2P, or you might be asking that. Yeah. But just let's try to be in the scope. I'll take care of everything. Just whatever you discuss, what is the scope, I'll run through. Yeah. Please. Otherwise, you will be asking the future questions today. Okay, the inspection, four-way, two-way, three-way, all we will see in the P2P cycle. Those all, again, inspection is not part of payables. We don't receive any material into payables. We receive the material into inventory, warehouse. Their inspection we conduct. Any other questions, please? Fine. No questions. Great. Okay, we'll connect tomorrow, same time. Thank you all.